on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
And a Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo, everyone! Yay! There we go. Good to have this back. We've missed it since the days when it was at North DeKalb Mall before the Russo brothers blew that place up completely in their last production. But my name is Andrew Greenberg. I am the chairman of the DeKalb County Entertainment Commission. We're responsible for bringing all the film and TV productions here, as well as building up the music industry and the interactive side of things as well. The Atlanta Regional Commission has said we have more than $1 billion in economic impact on the county now. We have got incredible studios all over the county at this point. Eagle Rock out here in Tucker. They've got the big location in Gwinnett. They got one out here in Tucker where they've done some very cool things. We've got Electric Owl down in Decatur. We have Trilith is out in Fayette County. We love them.
Sorry,
we love them.
Not them.
We love Trilith and all the Marvel stuff shot there. But Black Hall, obviously, now down in off of I-20. And I'm leaving someone out who's going to kill. Oh, Assembly, of course. Assembly, which is up and running with NBC Universal and doing all sorts of amazing things. We'll be seeing soon. Nothing's been shot there has made it into studios yet, but it will. When we started the Entertainment Commission, we very quickly had a lot of success. At Tucker itself, we did a film trail map, which had like 2 Oscar nominees and about 6 Golden Globe winners produced within it. In this mall, we've had Jennifer Anderson doing shots. One of my favorite stories was when Clint Eastwood was here for Mule in the shopping center behind us. I drove in to visit the post office, and it was all packed in. I'd forgotten, and I was rushing through, and there's Clint Eastwood standing there talking to a cop while he's waiting for his own shoot. So, lots of good stuff. And I'm also a game developer, so all of you go to Steam and wishlist Emperor of the Fading Suns. We're going to have our panelists introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about how you too can succeed in film and television in DeKalb County. You want to use this mic or?
Yeah, sure. Hi. I don't know. Yeah.
We kind of have it coming out of here.
My name is Adetinpo Thomas. I'm an Atlanta-based actor and producer. And what else should I say?
What have you been in? What amazing things have you done?
Okay, let's do it.
And why should they join SAG-AFTRA?
Oh, well, yeah, we can circle back to that one. But I've been in Marvel's Hawkeye and The Color Purple most recently.
Yeah.
I did the audiobook for...
We love permitting that around DeKalb County. That was amazing.
That was I did the audiobook for The Maid and the Crocodile this past summer, which is a YA novel by the writer of the Ray Bearer series. I played Jamila Olsen in Black Lightning in season 3, and other stuff. But that's the things that come to mind right now.
Love Black Lightning here. We had a fun rap party at Twain's for Black Lightning one time. Are you all hearing anything out of this? Is it getting any amplification? All I'm hearing is occasional pops.
I can hear you. I don't know if it's through there.
All right, let's kill this and just use our voices.
Yeah, that feels better.
Yeah, I don't think I'm hearing any difference. All right, then.
Hi guys, my name is Tasha Scott. I live in Los Angeles, California, but I've moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I've only been here maybe 9 months. So I moved from Los Angeles to Georgia to see how I can fit in here in the beautiful city of Atlanta. But I've been on a lot of major TV shows in the early 80s and 90s and some of the 2000s, such as 227, Webster, Throb, Finale Boys, Frank's Place, Snoops, South Central, The Parenthood. I was in a movie called Troop Beverly Hills with Shelley Lee Long and Craig T. Nelson. Gosh, I did a Coca-Cola commercial, Sprite commercial, Barbie doll commercial. I started out at the tender age of 5 and went professional at 8, moved to Los Angeles, and boom, it just took off. I am a singer first, that is my passion, but I got into acting And everything just worked so well for me, acting and singing and dancing all together. Of course, when you move to Hollywood, you have to do it all. I do want to get into all the action stuff. I've never done any action. I think the only thing I did when I did Camp Cucamonga, I had to ride a horse and I had to do a barrel drum. Oh, action. But yeah, I moved here to get my feet wet here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to see how good you guys treat me here. If not, I'll be headed back to Los Angeles. Yes, but to get into the industry, oh my God, it's amazing. If this is what you want to do, go for it, follow your dreams. Don't let no one tell you that you can't do it. It's all in your heart. Have a good team behind you. Have a good team and soar. The sky's the limits. That's me.
And now to hear about action.
Yes, no, it's fantastic. Hi, Carlton Hoyles, professional stuntman. I have been in the industry for about 10 years now, and I got my start back in, it seems so long ago now, 2015. I was actually, some of you guys might remember this, there was a live-action Marvel tour that was going on, a live-action touring stunt show. It toured all over the United States, and it toured all over Europe. And I did that for 2 years, and then shortly after I went and got my SAG card, I got an opportunity to do some stunts for a TV show some of you might be familiar with called Luke Cage.
Yay.
It was season 2. And once I had that opportunity, I decided to move down here to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Indiana, and for any of those of you who've been to Indiana, I apologize. There's not a lot going on in Indiana right now, so I had a great upbringing, but unfortunately there's not a lot of entertainment opportunities out that way. But came down here, had a few of my friends actually who came to Georgia before I did, and they were all telling me about how there's so many studios blowing up out this way, I need to check it out. And yeah, so I decided to go ahead and pack my bags and head this way. And then shortly after that, I had several other opportunities. Once you know, your biggest asset is really your network. So if you network with a lot of people, you know, you're going to get the opportunities. And luckily for me, I had the chance to be on a lot of other films and television shows. Got a chance to be in Black Panther 2. I got a chance to be in Black Adam. I also got the chance to be in The Color Purple as well. There was only one stunt.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. I know. There was literally only one stunt in The Color Purple, and I had the opportunity to be in that. So
Yeah.
to see somebody get thrown through a table in The Color Purple, that was me. So, yeah.
In the juke joint.
In the juke joint.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, juke joint. So that was fun. Yeah, I got into the industry because I was one of those kids that just grew up watching too much television. And all those disclaimers to say, don't try this at home, I was trying it at home. But my background is tumbling and parkour. That's how I got into it. And I've been coaching for over 10 years as well. So when I moved down here, I actually started coaching at a gym. And I was teaching a lot of different things from tumbling and parkour and whatnot. And luckily, through the opportunity of working at a gym, a lot of people who train stunts come to my gym, and you know, I got the chance to network and build up my pool of people that way. Yeah, and like it's all about your network. It's really about just getting out there and just networking with people, and that's just how you build your connections and how you get the opportunities, because sometimes it's not about what you know, it's about who you know and who knows you. So yeah, that's what it comes down to.
So we've heard network, we've heard team. What's your one word for success in this industry?
Audacity.
Ooh, love it. Love it.
I think so much of any industry is just like being bold enough to try it and do it. I was like, I don't know, emotional as a person, I guess, but I was walking through the vendors and I was like, all these people wrote original comic books, that's so cool. But I think being bold enough to have the idea to actually do it, to get it printed, to find a place to come and set up a table and then sell it, and then have people constantly walking by and maybe not buying anything, but you're still proud of the thing you made, I think that's amazing. So to be able to do that in any industry, in any capacity, takes audacity.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking on that, I'm also a comic book writer and illustrator. I've been drawing my whole life. Got my degree in fine arts 2D design and minored in theater. But no, you're right. It's grueling sometimes when you're creating things because, like you said, you are proud of what you create. But every now and then, this is something that actually is real. A lot of us tend to go through imposter syndrome, where sometimes you'll see a lot of other people like rise to the top, and you're like, I'm just getting my toes wet. I don't know if I should be in this business. You start to really question yourself. But once again, like you got to take it back and dial it down a notch, and just realize that like this is a growing process. Like you're climbing the ladder, you're in the right direction. Just keep with it, and yeah, you just have to be persistent more than anything.
Persistent and timing. Your timing is everything. You're not on everyone else's time. It's your time, your vision, your dream. pace yourself.
Exactly.
Pace yourself is a big one too.
Excellent.
You know, they say it takes 15 years to be an overnight success. So I'll never forget, what was it that really blew him up? I want to say it's, God, what's the show that was on Netflix about Kevin Spacey being in the White House?
Oh, I know.
House of Cards?
Yes.
House of Cards. So I want to say that was one of the things he was like most known for, but that's when I really started paying attention. But he was also in The Get Down, and he was also in, and then now was almost about to be Blade, and who knows how that's going to go. But, you know, there's stuff you'll go back and watch from the 90s, and you're like, oh, is that Brad Pitt waiting tables as an extra in this film? And it takes time after time after time, and I think one of the biggest misnomers, misunderstandings is that you do like one thing and then you're gonna break out. You're gonna go to this thing and someone's gonna pick you up out of a crowd and you're gonna, but all of that is so strategic and so time specific, and it's who's on your team and who do they know, and then what are you bringing to the table on the day? Because my whole thing is being honest about what this is actually like, and so much of this is not actually about your talent. So when we're talking about network, it's just like any other industry, so much of this is nepotism. It's who knows you and is willing to vouch for you so you can do this.
And believes in you.
And believes in you, which is that's a nice way to say it. And then you get there, and then ideally you can actually like execute.
Yes.
And if you can't, they'll just cut around you.
But I think that's a great point. You just don't know them, but they believe in you. They've seen you can do this.
That you can do it.
You're not just a body on set, that you have something to actually offer.
And when they believe in you, they will invest into you.
Nice.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like too, when you put in a lot of work and time and effort into your passion, I feel like that should just already like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry. It just give you that, I can't think of the word right now, I'm so sorry. It should reiterate the fact that you do belong there.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of it, like, we get a lot of self-doubt and everything, but like, you should just realize, like, hey, I put in a lot of time, effort, and I'm passionate about this. So yeah, it might not start when you want it to, but it will pick up over time.
Yeah. Hard work, dedication.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was Patton Oswalt that said, so much of this is just being one of the last people in the room.
That part.
Because when you get to a certain point, people will decide to go into a different career or like move or start a family or do whatever, and then there's only like 10 of you who've been doing it for however long with the same length and resume versus the 100 people or 1,000 people you're competing against 5 years ago. So there's that part as well, and I push back against the idea of imposter syndrome, because it's not as if we are not capable. We have just been told we don't belong in the rooms we're standing in.
That's
Yes, exactly.
So it's one of those things where you put the onus on the victim, and it's not that we don't deserve to be there. Clearly, we can create things in spite of all oppression and all kinds of things. But when I'm in this room, are you going to then hold that against me versus me just being allowed to stand here because obviously I got in here in the first place?
Yeah.
So imposter syndrome is a thing, but I don't feel like it's something we should own and claim as if it's our responsibility to break out of that, as much as other people need to deal with the fact that we found ourselves in the place we belong.
I like that.
Now, I've heard 3 great things about networking. 1, you got to bust in the door. 2, you have to show you can do the things. And 3, just be there, be persistent, be the last person in the room. I love all of that. But if you have any other suggestions about networking, how do you build that network? Now, you've shown these 3 things. I show up, I get the job done, I prove I'm it. What else? What are those other factors that go into building that network you need?
Go ahead.
We're eager. We got answers, guys. We got answers.
Well, the new way is the social media.
That part.
And when coming up in the 80s, it was all about your publicist and your manager and your agent. They were your network. Now it's the social media. When I got into this whole new way of it, every day, my husband, my ex-husband, my children, Mom, you got to post every day. I'm like, well, what do I post? I don't even know what this means. Well, Mom, you got to go and grab all of your old stuff. Well, how do I go get it? When I would say old, but it's because it's great. You got to go grab stuff. You got to post every day. You got to talk every day. So networking, social media, and finding a good social media team that can help you, because sometimes it get overwhelming.
It is.
You know,
It's
it's very like when I first started, it was Mom, you got to do it every day. I'm like, every day I'm cooking. I'm taking you to school. I got other, but you got. Well, put that on there. I'm like, I don't want nobody in my car.
Yeah. We actually have a life outside of the industry.
Yeah,
It's like trying to balance that is crazy.
Yeah, so networking is very, very, very important, and constant content.
Yes, and it's to stay relevant. I mean, we get forgotten very quickly in this business. You know, so and like I'm specifically speaking from a stunt perspective, but I know like in order to just stay on the radar of a lot of coordinators, I have to constantly post videos and stuff like that. Now, as an artist, as a illustrator and everything, I like posting my work, but as far as me posting like a lot of things on social media, I'm kind of like, I'm a little over it, but I know in order to stay relevant in this business, I have to do it. So like when I'm in the training mode and I'm getting ready to go to a gym, I'm maybe working on some martial arts or some acrobatic things. Most of the stuff I'm doing is like I'm just kind of in the zone, ready to do my thing and just put in this work. I'm not thinking about, let me set up my camera in this angle to make sure I can capture the right light so I can make sure I throw these punches and make sure everything sells. No, I don't think about that, but I have to start thinking about that in order to get, again, make decent content so I can post it so I can stay relevant in this business.
That 5 minutes can mean a whole lot. That so 5 minutes of posting, and you edit, boom, whoa! It can mean a lot. It really can.
Yeah, I'm really apprehensive about the whole social media thing. If it wasn't for this industry, I probably wouldn't be on it at all. But what I've had to swallow, and it really speaks to what you're saying, is that people need to know you exist to give you opportunities. And that's kind of just like the long and short of it. And it's like, well, fine, people need to know I'm here, otherwise they're not going to call me to come work. But something I heard Issa Rae say, I like to give people their credit because I just read a bunch of stuff. What she said was to network horizontally. I think so often you go to like a panel
Bluetooth, pairing.
or you go somewhere and you want to stop and talk to the director, hoping the director will remember you, and when it's time to film the thing, they're going to call you. But going around and handing out your business cards or your headshots doesn't work. What works in any industry is relationships, because it's like, who was really cool the other day? And he said he does parkour, and we need somebody to do stunts. Let me call that one guy. And that's how that works, right? So when you're in a community in places like this, and you're like, I want to write something. Well, let's do like a podcast about it. Let's do whatever. As you're building up and being persistent in your career, when you all rise together, you end up all being close. I've seen people on the red carpet, and I'm like, oh my God, when did they meet? I thought they just worked on this project. Meanwhile, they've been seeing each other in the audition room for the last 15 years. So they are friends. So I would say, as much as it's exciting to see, I don't know, Donald Glover walking down the street and want to hand him your stuff or give him your mixtape or give him your audition reel, you might be better off working with the people who are in your community who also want to make movies, and then make a short film and take that to a festival. Because that will get you more traction, and over time that will build a career for you. Not just trying to use somebody. And not just trying to use somebody, because that's ultimately what it is if you're just giving them your information. And that doesn't feel good no matter where she does not want me to talk. That's what's happening. That machine is being a hater. I've seen the Terminator. I know how this goes.
Hater.
You feel me?
Big time.
Wow. Big Brother is watching you guys. I'm telling the truth, and they're trying to silence me.
I, for one, welcome our AI overlords.
Well, the nice ones, right? Like, I say please and thank you. I'm not crazy. Please write this newsletter for me. Thank you. But you want to be able to work in your community and then pour into people around you, because that is the growth that you will see that will be sustainable. Not just tracking down somebody and then wanting to use their popularity to leverage your own career. Because that's also just kind of parasitic and shady.
Come on.
Yeah, and the thing is, you want to be useful and helpful when you're around people as well. Like, you don't just want to present yourself in this. Some people say it's fake, but like, oh, hi, how are you? Just be casual, be normal, and stuff like that. Let them know what your interests are and stuff. And I've met some wonderful people since I moved here who are also in the stunt business. Some people who have been working routinely, some people who are just getting their toes wet. And like I said, we're talking about networking, and again, you want to network horizontally. I love that because when I was working at the gym, like I said, I was running into people all the time who were training stunts, and I had the opportunity to meet people who passed on some information for me so I can get opportunities as well. And I can remember an example where there were these two guys, and these are huge guys, big guys. And they came to my gym. We talk all the time and stuff like that. We're just big. A lot of us are big nerds as well, too. So like, we're constantly talking about things. But like, a lot of their conversations have nothing to do with the industry at all. But they were getting ready to film Black Adam here, and obviously that was with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And these guys, you know, one of them, I mean, all of us had different goals with this. We were hoping to be a part of this opportunity when we found out that they were filming here in the area. And one guy got a chance to, we all got the call, which was crazy. We all got a chance to double The Rock. Now, this is the odd thing. I know I look nothing like The Rock. I look absolutely nothing like The Rock. However, there were particular scenes in Black Adam, if you get the chance to watch the movie, where The Rock is kind of a small, scrawny guy who, before he gets his powers. And that happened to be me. I was one of the guys that got the chance to get The Rock's face superimposed onto my body.
Nice.
So
In honor.
true honor, yes. So it was just odd because we're all sitting there at the gym just talking casually about it, like, oh, it'd be great if we got a chance to be in this film. And I was like, I would just like to do stunts. I didn't think that I'd actually be doubling The Rock of all things. But these guys, of course, one got a chance to be the motion capture double, and the other person got to be his acting double, and then I got to be the skinny double. Basically. So, but it was just odd because again, we were all just training together, just being very casual and stuff like that. Cool. And surprisingly, one person got the information, they passed it on. And then the rest of us got the call, and we were like, hey, like, we were just in the gym talking about being a part of this project, and here we are now in this project. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
And that's also a big thing. And you said two things that are really powerful. One is being of value to other people. So it's not just like, here's my card, call me if you need something. It's like, if you're ever working on a project, I would love to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know people who are, I know one of my students is wanting to be a DP. And the way she's stepping into that is she's doing still photography on other people's projects.
Nice.
Because it's still ultimately your eye. It's how you're editing these photos. These photos get used for marketing and all kinds of things. And it gets your name out there. And then you're on set with 15, 20, 100 other people who make films. So if somebody's looking for a DP, or at the very least a still photographer, you have people to pull from.
Those who don't know, DP is director of photography.
Yes, sorry, cinematographer. And the second thing you said that I think is also useful is you need to know what it is you want and then say it out loud. No one's gonna call you to come do stunts if they don't know you do stunts. No one's gonna say, oh yeah, come be the editor of my film if they don't know you have an interest in editing. So if this is something that you want to do, and this is where the audacity comes in, you need to tell people that. You need to say something about that.
Squeaky wheel
because
disagrees.
it's show business, right? But also I'm a home organizer. And I remember wanting to get into it. And I told my friend, and I was like, I'm really thinking about just like doing home organizing. We're on strike. The industry's going slow. Like, and she was like, oh, you know what's so crazy? My neighbor who used to live down the street from me owns a business and has been home organizing for 20 years.
Wow.
And I called her and I was like, hey, like, what's up? So-and-so told me about you, and this is my friend vouching for me because you're networking horizontally. And she's like, cool, can you start on Monday? I pay $20 an hour, and after you do 6 sessions with me, it goes up to 25.
Yeah.
But I was just like lamenting on her coffee table. So if I hadn't said anything and I'm sitting there going, look, I don't know if I'm good enough. Like, I don't know if what should I do? I can Google it and research it for 25 years or for 6 months. And then maybe, I was like, girl, I really need to organize somebody's closet. I don't know.
Be confident.
Yeah.
And
that's how and I've been working for that woman, mind you, for like over a year and a half now, because that's what paid my bills through the strike.
Yeah.
So I love what we're hearing about creating your opportunity. This is very much about it's not going to walk in the diner and choose you.
No.
Right.
It's about you creating your opportunity. I also love the fact that you're all doing your own independent efforts as well. So in DeKalb County, we're trying to encourage more independent productions. We are sponsoring the DeKalb Film Festival, DeKalb Schools Film Festival, which will be March 25th at Porter Sanford. So all the high schools, we have them putting in their best films for a competition, and the winners we sent out to LA to take part in an even bigger event. So with each of you, you have created something. I love the idea of how you got yourself through the strike. We've got comics, we've got music as well. How are you creating those opportunities for yourself?
Would you like to take this one?
I'm at home. Set it up. You are listening to the lovely sounds of Tasha Scott, aka Moonchild, here in Moonchild's recording studios. So what I do is I write my music right there. Everybody sees me create right there. They see me cry. They see me get frustrated. They see me sing. So that's what I do. And I skate live. I do all of that in-house right now. Yes, I'm a skater. 4 wheels. Roller skates. Roller skates. Yeah. So I just set up everything right there and just
Be real.
be real. and they love it. In the morning, sometimes I feel like it, in my pajamas, hair this way, she's up, yeah, she's making coffee. So that's how I just create, and then of course I'd say, hey, I'm looking for this, hey, I'm looking for that, hey, can you do this, hey, hit me up, email in the bio. So that's how I create,
Any chance you know Afua Richardson? She's an amazing comic artist with Marvel, but she does music as Starchild.
No, Starchild. No, I don't.
And we also have
You guys gotta get a band
Natasha,
together.
Right?
who's another artist here who does her stuff as Dreamchild.
Dreamchild, I love it.
We got to introduce all you children.
Don't get me wrong, but Galaxy's Child.
Woo!
There you go.
I mean, Destiny's Child, Galaxy's Child.
I love
There you
it.
go.
I love it. Okay. Vibing.
Yeah.
So for me, I swear to God, I came out of the womb this way. Because again, it's the audacity where it was just like, well, that seems interesting. Why not? I don't know all the parts about it, but I'll learn.
Yeah.
I'll figure it
You gotta
out.
stay curious.
I had an idea. I went to my friend who was working in casting, and I was like, "Hey, you want to do this stuff, right? Like, let's make a thing together." And he was like, "Yeah, I want to direct." And I was like, "Great, I want to act, and let's make this so I can act in something." So we sat down and wrote it, and we filmed it at my mom's house, and it got into film festivals. I don't even think we had a budget. We just the wine was real in the scenes, and there was charcuterie. And my friends I knew from undergrad who no longer were actors, but I was like, "Come on down to my mom's house on Tuesday, and we're gonna film this movie."
That part.
And it's not something I would show you now. Actually, though, I think it's on YouTube. But after that, we were like, "Oh, we did it." And then the next time we were like, oh, we have another idea. I'm real big into sci-fi. So it's not just, oh my gosh, I'm an actor. We will sit down and talk about DC versus Marvel for 2 hours.
Yeah, all day.
Nice.
But when we made this project, it was just okay, well, we told everybody it's a passion project. There will be good food. We will film this over 3 days. The short film got into festivals in Spain.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it was also why not us? Let's see if Spain wants it. And they did. And I just want you to know that depending on how you do your taxes, that trip to Spain is a tax write-off. The food is a tax write-off. The flight is a tax. I mean, you also need the money first, right? So let's be honest there. But it's a matter of just doing it. You're never gonna be 100% where you want to be in terms of your ability to execute it, but you will find people along the way who can help. There's YouTube University, there's TikTok University. There's an answer somewhere for the information that you want, or there's someone who can provide the answer. Yeah. And you'd be surprised how generous people are.
Yes.
People think I am booked and busy, and so shall it be. But during the strike, people knew I wasn't busy, and people finally reached out and they were like, "Hey, I know you probably have some downtime. Do you want to do the short film with us?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Absolutely." I did 6 short films in the course of the strike. People who I know all the time who just never thought to ask me because they thought I was busy. Meanwhile, I'm standing in somebody's closet organizing. Call me.
Yes.
I want to come do it. Even just doing this today. Tony just asked. So shoot your shot. Don't be creepy.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
Yeah.
Be professional because this is show business.
Yes.
And this is a $1 billion, $1 trillion industry.
Yes.
But believe that you can, and then keep trying until it happens. Yeah.
Execute it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me.
You can't wait for opportunities to come knocking at your door either. You got to keep the creative juices flowing constantly, because maybe this studio might not want you right now. That doesn't mean you should stop acting, you should stop doing stunts, you should stop doing what you do and what you're passionate about. Because even with especially in the comic book industry too, if I'm going to sit here and wait around for Marvel or DC to hand me an opportunity, I'll be waiting forever. But if I get the chance that, can I create this without them? Can I still get this ball rolling without them and get some traction and everything? Absolutely. So I sit at home, I'll work on this when I get downtime and everything. And I'm sorry, I didn't even mention this earlier, and I'm sorry I'm going to throw this out here, but I created a comic book called The Renegades. Yeah. And I decided to go ahead and self-publish that.
Hold up the comic for the camera, too.
No, it's
Not
on
just the
table.
hat, sorry. Yeah, I did issues 1 and 2 and everything. They're currently right now on indieplanet.com.
And this is your art.
This is my art. Yeah.
That's
Very
so
cool.
fun.
I did the writing, the drawings, and everything.
Wow.
And it's a good challenge for me because I'm not great. I'm good at art, but I'm not great at art. So there's some things that I'm not that good at. But I realize this challenges me to become better.
But you
so
still
this
made it.
allows me to, like I said, just grow in my craft. But again, you just have to stay busy. There's some friends, like I said, during the strike. I mean, we had so much time.
Yeah.
So much time. We're like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and dedicate my time towards this passion. And then, of course, with your network, they're all working on projects. Someone needs you to, can you do storyboards for this? Or, oh, hey, can you do some stunts for this? Or can you act in that? Absolutely, why not? I got nothing but time, and I want to keep creating things. And it becomes fun. It doesn't feel like work and stuff like that. I mean, even though we're in a very fun industry, but like you're with your friends, you're also with people who are also very passionate about this, and it's great to collaborate with other people who are just like-minded people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wonderful.
I forgot to say, when I got here, I've only been here 9 months. I went over to, shout out to Lucky Johnson Studios.
Oh, yeah.
I've done 2 plays and a series with the now late great Angie Stone. It was her story when she was in her girls group. So 9 months, 3 jobs already, and they're coming. When you're just not doing anything, and boom, it just happened. When you change your atmosphere, change your atmosphere and just jump. Like I did a play in the early 90s. The Wiz. I played Dorothy. And I played with.
She said that very casually.
Yeah, she got on down. She got
If you
on
ever
down.
saw the score of this musical, like this is not easy music to sing.
No, it's not.
Like Diana Ross originated this role.
Yes. So
Just
I
for context.
did that version of the play. So it was Cece Peniston, Tony Terry, Peebo Bryson. Tasha Scott. That was my first play, and I was so nervous. But then coming here, I have jumped in. I have done 2 plays. Amazing. I love it. It's different because you cannot stop and go. You have to improvise and all that. So that's new to me, and I'm loving it. So yeah, I had to give that shout out because it came to my mind. 3 things already here, 9 months.
I'm sorry, you said something. She said working with Peebo Bryson. For those of you who don't know who that gentleman is, he is one of the gentlemen, he's the gentleman who actually sang 2 Disney songs.
Yes.
We all know classic Disney songs from Aladdin.
Beauty and the Beast.
And Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, just to kind of get an understanding of that caliber of talent. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And something I don't want to skirt around is that this is not easy, and when you're doing it for yourself, it can be fun, but there's also no one motivating you to do this. It can be deeply thankless, and if you're doing this to be famous, there's easier ways to do that. If you're doing this to be rich, there are easier ways to do that. And if you don't have a strong enough reason to keep going, you will stop because there's, again, no one motivating you to do this. So if it's going to take you 15 years to book consistently, I mean, there are people, I have a friend who's been a series regular, so he's getting paid minimum $25,000 an episode to be on a TV show, all kinds of different content. He is still auditioning for roles.
Wow. Yeah.
Constantly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand, I mean, they made Ariana Grande audition 5 times to be in Wicked.
Wow.
Because they wanted to make sure she could drop being Ariana and put on being Glenda and be believable, and we weren't watching a pop star.
Constantly being challenged,
Right.
So it's a fight the whole time. Viola Davis was fighting for equality on a movie she produced. When she was doing Woman King, she was like, there were so many things that I wanted to be able to accomplish where I was begging tooth and nail for things they would have given to George Clooney without him prompting it, things they would have given to Ryan Reynolds. I think you're seeing the through line, right? When Taraji's on the press tour, somebody simply asked her, is it true you're thinking about quitting acting? And she started sobbing. She was like, I have been in this industry for over 20 years, and I have to fight for every dollar I get. It doesn't matter how much money I made on the last one. We're starting from scratch as if I've never done it before.
Yes.
She got paid, I want to say it was less than $100,000 to do Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Brad Pitt made around $1 million. Gwyneth Paltrow made over 500. She had to also put herself up when she was in New Orleans filming that. So there's a point where you have to decide what you're doing it for.
And accept that reality, too.
Yes.
Because what you're hearing, the through line here, is that we actually really like this.
Yes.
The business side of this makes us deeply tedious and unenjoyable.
Yes.
I say this very often, that we are in an industry that we love that doesn't always love us back.
Yeah.
That rarely ever loves you back.
Yeah, rarely. And another thing, too, is like, I hate saying it, but...
Tell them the truth.
Yeah, you gotta tell the truth. Like I said,
Yeah.
you cannot get into this business for money.
Period.
You can't.
Come on.
You know, you really can't. You have to have a passion. You have to have a drive.
And you have to have another job.
That's part too. Yeah, like I said, if you're in this for the money,
Frankly.
you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
You know, and you have to follow your passions when it comes to this stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I took, just say it, Tasha, I took about 14, 15 years off, just straight to church, raising my kids, marriage. When they graduated, my last two babies, when they graduated, I was like, I'm in my
Late 20s.
Yeah, so you
Late
know what I'm
20s.
saying?
yeah, and I'm about 52 years old right now. You can Google it, of course. And I was like, can I still do this? It's still in my heart. The talent, the look. Okay, 52, darling. It's still there.
Skin popping,
Yeah,
melanin popping.
it's still there. Can I still do this? Everyone is out of my way. I still believe in myself. There are people that I see that still believe in me. People are Googling me. The youth today is like, oh my God, she's amazing. Da, da, da. So I jumped back into it because I love it. I love it. I've been knowing this since I was little. So there's no amount, well, I ain't gonna say there's no amount of money, but there's, you know, it's not about the money. It's about making people happy, giving my gift, and all of that will make room for me.
Yeah.
And also, money flows to me like water, and it comes from present places.
Well, touch me, girl.
Run
touch
me my check.
Run me my check.
Run me my check. Let's be very real.
Because let's be honest.
There's $1 trillion industry. You
Yes.
have the money to pay me. Pay me fairly.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Also-
And there's no title that goes better with the word starving like artists. Like, we've all been there. So yeah, like, of course we love what we do, but like anybody across the board, if you tell them, oh, I'm gonna get in the entertainment business, like, ooh, it's a gamble. Like, if you want to, like, if you really want your life to go smoothly, like, there are better ways to do it. Like, you
Yeah.
wanna they say,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, they say being a doctor or a lawyer is hard, but honestly, like, that's a go
Straight
that
line.
route if you want to have a nice, cushy life. But like,
Right.
if you want to have a hard life that, you know, where things are going to be a roller coaster constantly, day in and day out, it's the entertainment business.
It's the
That's
entertainment
really what it
business.
is.
And it's a harsh thing to say, but I remember them saying this to me in undergrad. So my bachelor's is in theater, my master's is in acting. I've been told on several occasions, if there's anything else that you can do and you would still be happy, do that instead.
Yes.
All the time.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Because when you start questioning what you look like and your talent and the size of your body and the length of your body, there's so many reasons you don't get cast for stuff. There's so many reasons you don't get selected. But if you don't know people in your community when you're networking horizontally who can give you that feedback, you will always think it's you.
Yeah.
You will always think, well, dang, maybe let me start changing stuff and let me start. There was a movie I auditioned for. The audition I got was for Slave. And I was reading the breakdowns of the other characters, and I was like, can I read for the lead as well?
Yeah.
And I just like emailed my reps, and they're like, well, we'll ask. My reps sent me the audition, and I was like, cool, great. I turned down the Slave audition. I turned in the lead audition. I never heard anything back. The movie came out. It was received really well, and people were very excited about it. I'm working on another project, like literally years later. And I and another person were reading for the female lead. And when all was said and done, I'm the one that got it. So now we're on the day, we're on set. And one of the producers comes up to me and he's like, you know, it's so funny because on this one it was down to you two and you got it. And on the last one it was down to you two and she got it. And I said, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, like when all was said and done, it was you two, but we ended up going with her. No one called my reps and told me I was, because usually they'll tell you like you're on first refusal. If something else comes up, let us know so we'll make a decision. They'll ask you to hold the time. We're thinking about you. We want it to be you. Sometimes there's callbacks. There's all kinds of steps that were skipped. No one said anything to my reps. No one said anything to me. So if I walked away from that thinking, you know, I gave it my all, maybe I won't ask next time. Maybe I don't want to be inconvenient. Maybe I shouldn't have sent that email. Now I'm embarrassed I didn't get it. And it was down to me and her. And if he didn't happen to just casually say that at Crafty, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy how it comes down to situations like that because honestly, we do question ourselves a lot. Like there's a lot of self-doubt that does, you know, spew in from time to time. But when it comes to talent, you could be on the same par as somebody. You can have the same skill set and have the same look, everything, right down to the last thing. And then it might say, oh, well, how are we going to make this decision? They're like, well, let's check their Instagram. Let's see how many followers they have. Let's see if this person has more followers than the other. Whoever has the most followers, let's bank off of that and go with that person. Like, that's literally how they make choices sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't always look at it and say, oh, like, I wasn't good enough, or I was just like, no, they come up with so many different ways on why they choose
And
certain
to be fair, it's the followers thing is new, but sometimes it's like, she was really good, but she looks too much like my ex-wife. And I don't want to spend all day on set looking at my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, this person was really good, but their hair's a little too blonde.
Yeah.
And it's like, we were thinking about a brunette, and we don't want to deal with like wigs and stuff, so let's just get the brunette who did it just about as well.
Wow.
I don't know how many of you are Batman fans. I'm a huge Batman fan. But when they filmed the first Batman movie in 1989, they were casting for Vicky Vale, which was played by Kim Basinger. And originally, at the time, Michael Keaton was dating Michelle Pfeiffer, who now we all know is Catwoman. At the time, they were going to give her that audition. But Michael Keaton said, oh, it'd be kind of awkward and stuff like that because the relationship was still kind of new and he wasn't sure about how that would work out on camera. So, of course, they got the opportunity.
Not your boyfriend getting in the way of your dream.
However, when it came to casting for Batman Returns, they were already broken up. But then, I guess her career had taken off and everything. They suggested, hey, what about getting Michelle Pfeiffer? He said, you know what? Absolutely. So then that's how that opportunity came about. So it's crazy.
So that redirect is very real as well.
Yes.
Because sometimes the thing you're praying for is not the best thing for you. And you won't get it, not realizing that it's just making room for the thing that you want. I booked one line on Loki, and when I tell you I opened that email and I cried, I was so like, oh my, I love Marvel. This is so exciting. Also, tangentially, I was working on health and safety for Loki. So it was also cool to see like Tom go, hey, like you got the part. That's so interesting. Like, good for you. I used to take his temperature in the morning. I was working on health and safety. So it's finally the day. We're sitting in the trailer. We're yapping it up. And he's such a charming, intelligent... sorry, my husband's here. He's cool. He's cool. Whatever.
You should know by now.
Yeah, he's fine. Whatever. He's cool. But we're talking. And I was like, yeah, I'm always so anxious about this. Because during the time of COVID, you could book the part. And if you tested positive on the day, they would call in somebody else. Yeah. Because you can't be in the stars' faces with COVID.
Right.
So I'm in the trailer, we're talking, I was like, yeah, I'm always so anxious because with COVID, you never know, and the whole thing. And then, of course, I'm on the health and safety team. We get to set, we do a rehearsal, I'm sitting in my chair, and my manager on health and safety comes up to me and he says, I'm so sorry you've been exposed to COVID. I have to send you home.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a mask because this is, when you step off screen, you're wearing a mask. And I'm just like, my mask is soaked because I'm just weeping. And he's like, I don't think you have it. I think you're just exposed. You're okay. I'm like, I don't care if I die. I want it to be on Loki, right? And like 3 months later, we get an email from casting and they're like, hey, just double checking. She wasn't filmed, right? And they're like, no, she wasn't filmed. I go and I audition one scene. It's kind of weird, but I'm like, whatever. Like, let me send in my stuff. I'm now a LARPer on Hawkeye. And we were in half the season, and we are now the sidekicks to Kate Bishop and Hawkeye.
Very cool.
Nice.
Like, I have my Google alert set for when, there's scuttlebutt about season 2, and there's a lot of whispers about season 2, and thank God I didn't get that one line on Loki that I cried for, that I sat in my room, and I was like, I can't, like, what are we doing, God? What's happening? Yeah. It's for me to have now. And my character is based on a comic book character. That's how I met Tony. I walked into Challengers when it was at North DeKalb Mall looking for the comic.
Nice.
And then when he was like, no, we don't have it. And he was like, it was so weird. Why would you ask for that? And he messaged me on Facebook and he was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And I'm like, didn't know. Like, you're good. Like, I still can't find that comic. If you can find it, I will pay you. But Wendy Conrad is a real comic book character that I get to play now.
Nice.
Because I didn't get the thing I cried for.
That's perfect.
So...
We're about out of time. I think that's a perfect note to end on, because I want to get any questions out of the audience before. Yes, shout it out.
Hi. I actually bumped into an actress a couple weekends ago, and I just wanted to ask what I can help her with. And it sounds like she's very early in the process. She only has an audition reel. She just got here. She's been in the U.S. for a couple of years. She came from Ukraine. And so I kind of wanted to ask what your advice is for her next step that early in the process, because it sounds like she's not quite sure where to go just from that. Where I'm I have content online, I've done auditions, I've done at least a couple very small projects. But what do you recommend is her next step in that early in the process?
So my first question, is she already SAG-AFTRA or not even that level yet? 'Cause we have SAG-AFTRA on our
She
commission.
wanted to be one, but I was like, well, you also
Got
need
it.
to figure out what you want to do before you say I want to be SAG-AFTRA.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm in Stunt, so I don't think I'm the one to answer that question.
She's coming from where?
Ukraine. She has come to Ukraine.
And she's an actress.
Yes.
Okay, headshots,
Yes, she does have headshots.
agent,
Not yet.
headshots, reels nowadays. So she has to get some work under her belt so she can have a reel so that she can present it to social media, you, an agent, manager, publicist. So first step, she needs to be signed so she can get work. You know, basically, if not signed, just even if she does like little monologues, you know, that she can post up and stuff like that. These are a lot of things and new things that I've been told to do. So I say, hey, do that and network, just be out on the scene, networking, content.
All day, yeah.
This is a privileged take, but if she has the coin for it, I would say go to a reputable acting studio in town, because then she can find community in this process while also still getting better, because there's a learning curve on taping yourself for auditions. There's a learning curve on being on set and being able to actually perform, because it's compared to theater where it's live and you can't stop. When you're on TV, you might be talking to one person, but there are 200 people on the other side of the camera, and half of them are watching you, and the other half could not be bothered to like.
See, I know that
Their
more
work
than
is
theater, but I
done.
get
Like
you.
they've done,
Yeah.
like they're on their phone scrolling, and there's the pressure to now it's your turn.
Yeah.
So when they stop moving, it's your turn to start doing stuff. So there's a learning curve in all of that, and being in an acting class with other people who are doing that can be helpful. But there's a website called Backstage that. There's stuff to find there. Often it's background work. That's a great place to start too. Just have the experience of being on set, and Casting Central, and you can Google extras casting. There are places where you can put your information in. You can become an extra when there's stuff filming. Go be on set, get a feel for it, because people don't realize that you're there like 16 hours a day for
Hurry
weeks,
up and
if
wait.
not months,
Oh, yeah.
and that's if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And a 12-hour day, being an actor, you might actually only act for about 45 minutes, if you're lucky.
And maybe
So,
2 minutes of get shown.
and then you're only and only for them to have 3 minutes of content. So Backstage is a good source. Actors Access is a good source, because there's an actorsaccess.com. You create a profile. You can go search it daily for whatever region that you're in, and you can find breakdowns. It's a lot of student films are great. People who are getting like their thesis, done for SCAD or whatever MFA project, you'll find opportunities to act in those, and that'll help you build the reel. And then sometimes popular TV shows, you can only get auditions for those through having agents. So there's 1,000 gates, and there are 1,000 gatekeepers standing at them.
Yeah, come
So to get the agent, though, you need to prove you can do it, and you can find the work to do to get better and prove. And Actors Access is a great resource for that. But depending on how you sign up for it, you're either paying per audition you submit to, or to have a membership for the year, and you can submit unlimited. This is not a paid advertisement for them, but it could be.
Yeah.
Also, too,
Looking into all the cameras.
it's also good just to have more tools in your toolbox. You know, so I know a lot of people. I said earlier I didn't have an answer for you, but I just now realized I do have an answer. There are a lot of people who are actors and actresses who decide to make transitions into stunts just so they can show they have other range of talent as well. So I know that is a possibility. So since they are new, I feel like it would be a great suggestion to possibly get their toes wet in other things as well, so that the world can see that not only do they bring this to the table, but they have this as well to, add to the mix of things.
I need you.
I was gonna say, I think I'm asking one sub question, and you gotta get out here. But as a stunt person, is it different if she? I'm asking this half me, half her.
Okay.
If she wanted to go into stunts, is that going to be a different path for her that it would have been for you? Now, actually, again, as a black man and her being a white female, definitely going to be different paths. But I mean, in
She can do
terms
the rock.
of if I told her that, hey, I met this stunt guy. Would that path be the same for her, or would that be a little bit different if she wanted to get in that as well?
Getting into stunts, it depends on what your skill set is and what you are willing to learn, because obviously there are a lot of things from doing high falls to doing fire burns to I have limitations when it comes to stunts, and that's the thing that I love. Like, the thing that I love about being in this industry, or at least this department of the industry, is you display what your skill set is. And when you display that, stunt coordinators look to see what you can bring to the table, and they don't really ask you to go outside of that wheelhouse. So like for me, I have nothing in my demo reel demonstrating motorcycle stunts or car stunts because I have not gotten trained to do that. Most of the stuff that I do, again, is martial arts, parkour, gymnastics, fire burns, high falls, wire work, things of that nature, and weapon work. So it's a good thing to know what your limitations are if you're going into stunts. You can get blacklisted so quickly if you happen to overhype yourself. And someone asked me this earlier. In stunts, you don't really have an agent. Really, you're promoting yourself because you are showing what your skill set is in your demo reel, and that's what you're putting all over social media. You're presenting that to your social network and, of course, your stunt coordinators. And when they see what your skill set is, then they can assess you from there. So if she was trying to transition into stunts, I would recommend starting off figuring out what your limitations are, where you kind of want to narrow your skills and everything. Network with people who are also training. You can go to almost any adult gym in any area really and find people who are training stunts.
Yeah.
There are several places locally too as well. I know there's a place called The Vaults that just recently opened up. There's also another place called ATL Stunts. And those are just two that come to the top of my head right now. But as far as you're asking what was the main?
No, you answered the question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm rambling on and on, but yeah, no. I feel like
she was interested in it.
yeah, she was taking interest in that. That's definitely the best way to go about it. Just kind of narrow down what you want to do, because there's some things I'm afraid to do in stunts, and I can't, and I'm allowed to say no. So it's good to know like what your limits are. Which say, hey, you know what? I want to learn this Black Widow fight scene. I think I'm capable of doing this. Can someone teach me? That kind of thing. So if you want to go that route, that's completely fine. If you want to learn more specific things, I would recommend going to get training to do that. So that's the best way to go about it.
And I don't want you to downplay yourself. People don't understand that stunts is actually harder to get into.
Yes.
And it's also you're risking your life and your body constantly.
And we get very little recognition for it. But I digress.
Like you talking about sitting around all day. It'll be we're at hour 15 of the day, and it's like, hey, can you guys do the thing where you like you fall out of the airplane like 6 times in a row, and then we'll go home. No breaks. You got hot Cheetos, and there's a Gatorade thing of water. 6 times, please. So I don't want it to be like that might be a simpler, like that is much more difficult.
That's not, it's just like bringing the information.
They do not get the respect they deserve.
There are a lot of stunt actors in the industry, and they always need stunt people. Even for the actors that are out there, I'm not going to say any names, but there are actors out there that say, oh, I do my own stunts. They do, to an extent, but let me explain this to you. They have other stunt people on set who are the same person's height and build and things, so that they can do the stunt at least 100 times before they ever let the actor do it.
Wow.
Because if the actor doesn't hurt themselves, then that's going to push back production and everything. Yeah. So they have stunt people available all the time.
Stunt people, stand-ins.
All types of things. So we are definitely needed for sure. And there are times we'll spend weeks working on stunt choreo, and we are learning this thing. Like, there was a time I was at Tyler Perry Studios actually, and there was a fight scene that we had to do. We came in 3 days, and we were there for 6 hours each of those days, and each day we worked on maybe 6 different fight scenes. And we were just coming up with this. And on the day, they decided, that fight scene looks great, but we need this much of the fight scene. So then we had to change it up. So you had to be very adaptable to doing that, and be aware of the camera, for sure. There was a time I had to do a fight scene with an actor, and accidents do happen a lot in stunts, unfortunately. But again, when you're working with you get more accidents working with actors versus working with other stunt people, because other stunt people understand the distance you're supposed to be with when it comes to doing different choreos and things like that. Some actors, there are some method actors. Nothing against them. However,
lots against them.
They get, sometimes they happen to make contact. And our job is to take that and say, you know what, they weren't trained like I was. It's okay. I can, wipe it off. I'm good. Rub some dirt on it. You're good. Just get back to it. Just be professional. So, but sometimes that does happen. But there was a time I was working with an actor, and we showed him this fight scene, and we trained it back and forth. He's basically disarming me. He's sneaking up behind me and disarming the weapon in my hand. And we get on set, and the second unit director tells me, "Oh, we're filming it this way." And I was like, "Oh, but we did the fight this particular direction." "Oh, but no." He's like, "Yeah, but we're filming it this way." So I'm like, "Okay." So I had to. My actor, of course, was in makeup, and I had to get his attention. "Hey, we're flipping. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, we're going the other way. So instead of coming this way, he has to come the other direction now and deliver the fight sequence. So he was like, oh, okay, got it. I was like, oh, I hope he got it.
Right? You don't got it. Right? Got it.
And then surprisingly, it actually worked out great. Thank God. I mean, I have definitely been hit before on set, but luckily, like, there are situations that you have to adapt to constantly on set when it comes to doing stunts.
Yeah.
So.
And people want to act like it's a heroic. Sorry, I'm being very honest, and I should water down a little bit. It is cool to do your best to do some of the stunts, but also don't take work away from other people who are more skilled than you to do the thing you're trying to do.
Yes.
That part, yeah.
Because also time is money.
Yes.
So if it's going to take you 15 tries, but you know Jenny over there can do it in 2, and she actually knows what she's doing, and she's going to get paid, let Jenny do the job.
You're
please.
still going to be the star.
Yeah, step out of the way. Because imagine trying to have a full-on fist fight, but you have to kind of hide your face
Yes.
the whole time.
Yes.
And the person doesn't have like a lot of hair, so there's no wig to hide behind. Like
I'm one of the ones that watch TV. They're like, that's a stunt.
It kills me. It kills me.
Go back.
All right, last question. Then we gotta. Well, she had her hand up first. We'll let you do interviews afterwards. How's that? Yeah, last question.
Hi, this is Angie. I'm a volunteer of this event, and also I'm a filmmaker. I just graduated from SCAD. I have a question for Tasha.
Yes.
Because I've already known the other 2 big stars. So my question is, how do you choose your collaborators, and what kind of qualities do you really care about?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, you're the one who pushed team right off the bat.
How do I choose the people that I want to work with? That's what you're saying. Okay, you're using words, and I'm trying to compute them. Honesty, loyalty, consistency. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that want to work with me, and I test them. Honesty, loyalty, and consistency. So, and if they're God-fearing, I must say that if they're God-fearing, so that's how I pick. And then what was your last one?
What kind of, I think you've already answered both questions, but can I ask a little bit more, like how to achieve that kind of skill? You mentioned 3 big words, but how about one of them, like loyalty? How do you test that in a short time?
In a short time, I'm more of a elongated, but
there are a lot of wishy-washy people in the industry.
It is. So that's why mine's is more like a elongated type of thing. I say I give you like 3 months because I'm a girl of 3, and so I see what your loyalty is in 3 months. So if they say, oh, I can do, okay, well, show me what you can do. Like, show me what you can do. You can create this, you can do this, you can get someone on the phone and we can, talk. So show me what you can do, because I know what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing something major. So what are you actually bringing? Because I don't want to waste our time. And sometimes if I see that you have the passion there, that's me giving you the opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to give you a shot to do this, because I see it in you. So do it this way, and then let's work together, and boom. Like, I've given a lot of people a lot of chances, like people that are just now starting, because I saw something in them, and now they're like, bam, I'm like, wow, you had it in you. You see it, right? So honesty, loyalty, and consistency, yeah.
Thank you.
I think all of us happen to come across people who present us with ideas and different, I want to plan on doing this. Hey, I have this great idea. Let's do this. And they come to us with this, but they don't have any follow through sometimes. So it's really hard to kind of narrow down which ones we need to kind of keep in our corner, and the ones we kind of need to put on the back burner kind of thing. And that's not to say that their ideas are horrible. It's just the fact that you got to really get the ball rolling sometimes if you really want me to be involved with it.
Yeah.
So I've had several people present to me before, because I also do cosplay too. So I had people ask me before, hey, can you make this armor for me? So we're getting ready to shoot something, and I'm like, okay, great. And then they don't follow up with me. I'm like, okay, so they're a little wishy-washy sometimes.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, let's film some stunts, or let's film some acting thing. I'm like, okay, and then you're waiting months and months on end until they finally get your clips that you read scripts for and stuff like that. These people are just not keeping the communication going. So again, there are little ways to test people's loyalty and stuff like that, and just their consistency more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just to kind of see where, how persistent are they and how quickly they are to like initiate this and get the ball rolling.
And that's also why people end up working with their friends, because either someone's vouching for you or I watched you do it and I know you can do it.
And I know you can
And that's
do
why
it.
it's hard to get a new opportunity sometimes, because if we don't have the time or money, and there's never enough time or money to stop and teach you how to do this thing, a lot of people won't take the time to do that.
Yeah.
I would also throw in being a good person.
Yes.
Because I'd much rather work with somebody who isn't as skilled but is kind and ready to be there and is like a good person than somebody who's very capable and a complete asshole.
Yes.
I don't have time for that.
Bye.
That's a good note to end.
I don't have
Before we end, is the next panel in here?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for your patience with us.
My question was, how can people follow them to keep up with their projects?
I am Adetinpo, that's me, on all social media. I'm not on Twitter for what I would hope is obvious reasons.
I'm Tasha Scott, aka Tink, or Tasha Scott fan page, all across the board.
I'm Carlton Hoyles. You can find me on Facebook. You can also follow my Renegades page on Instagram and also on Facebook. It's just Renegades Comics, and that's the best way to keep in touch with me.
And the DeKalb Entertainment Commission is at DeKalbEntertainment.com. You can also follow the Georgia Game Developers Association at ggda.org. And tonight, join us for the cosplay ball at the Interplanetary Ball.
So you guys have grants?
I wish.
Drop the mic.
We have.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work of all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work of all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.